I'm now going to draw in the shadow area, so I lower the opacity of the reference photo, and on the layer on top I draw in the shapes, the outlines of the shapes first. So the trick is to draw a larger shadow area than what you actually will need, because if you draw it to the exact size, when you start erasing, you'll be erasing quite a lot, and what you might be left with is too thin or too small a shadow. Once I finish filling out the shadow areas, I lower the opacity for that layer so that it's easier to see how much and where I'm erasing. I found that the best eraser brush to use is the Cashmere eraser tool. But of course you can try any soft edge eraser brush. You have to experiment what's the right brush size for the eraser tool and also the opacity setting for the brush. There is a process of trial and error here where you experiment with the size of the brush and the opacity. So sometimes you may want to increase the size of the brush while you lower the opacity, and also vice versa, where you decrease the brush size and then increase the opacity setting. One other important tip here is that when you erase the edges of the shadow areas, make sure you erase completely from the outside in. So what this means is that if you notice from the video, you don't leave a visible edge. So what you will get, or what you attempt to do, is to try and get a very smooth blur outline of the shadow area. The next part of my process is to duplicate the shadow area that I'm done with, and then I'll do a transform of that duplicated area. This is just a quick way to create more shadow areas without having to repeat the process. For this part, I've duplicated the earlier shadow area. Then I lock the alpha layer and I paint over with a highlight color. In this case, it's a light blue. What I'm trying to do is to create a highlight area by using the shadow areas as a reference. So this means I do not have to repaint the highlight area. I'm just using the shadow area, adjusting it, and once I finish adjusting it, I will erase the parts that I think is not needed.